Harvey Weinstein will be going to jail. No, he will not be going to jail for the top charges, the most serious charges, but he will be going to jail. And first off, forgive me, I am feeling quite sick, so if I'm not my normal exuberant self, please forgive me. Let's read this. Harvey Weinstein is found guilty of criminal sexual assault and rape and faces up to 29 years in prison, but is cleared of the three most serious charges in a landmark #MeToo trial. And by the way, before I get into it, give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down even, a comment, some sort of engagement, because simply by nature of reporting the news, YouTube is going to hate me and hate this video. So your action, your engagement helps counteract YouTube's stupidity. Harvey Weinstein has been found guilty of raping and sexual assault of 2 women, sealing his dizzying fall from powerful Hollywood studio boss to arch villain of the #MeToo movement. Yeah, and it was a spectacular fall indeed. And how many people did we find out knew all this stuff was going on and everybody kept their mouths shut? And it's a power dynamic thing. That's my opinion. Just an opinion. The disgraced Hollywood producer was convicted by a New York jury on Monday of sexually assaulting former production assistant Mimi Haley in his apartment in 2006 and raping aspiring actress Jessica Mann in a hotel room in 2013. He used his power. Some of the things there were originally, my God, a whole slew of charges, one by one. Some of them were like kind of set to the side because they were a little bit outrageous. But they did get him for something, so that's good. It's not the top 3 charges, but you know what? It'll put him away for a while, and in his condition, I don't see him being a danger to society ever again. Weinstein was acquitted of the 2 most serious counts of predatory sexual assault, which each carried potential life sentences. He was also found not guilty of his first-degree rape in relation to Mann. He now faces up to 29 years in prison for the 2 charges. And quite honestly, in the physical shape I've seen him in, that 29 years probably is going to be a life sentence. Quite honestly, I mean, I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see it. Now we could find out that he's just playing this up for attention. I've thought about that. You see him coming through the courthouse with his walker, and sometimes I look at him and it's like you're acting too much. But when the jury of 7 men and 5 women handed down their verdict after 5 days of deliberations, Weinstein told his lawyer, I'm innocent. How can this happen in America? Well, if you're innocent, then the evidence needs to prove that you're innocent. It's not a perfect system, but we can only go based upon the evidence, and the evidence shows that you are guilty. Thereby, you're guilty. I mean, God, I can't think when I'm sick. Judge James Burke ordered Weinstein, who appeared to be editing a script just prior to the verdict, to be taken to jail immediately until his sentencing on March 11th. Court officers surrounded Weinstein, handcuffed, and led him out of the courtroom via a side door without the use of the walker he relied on for much of the trial. Yeah, interesting. So he didn't use the walker when they let him out this time. And editing a script. Who is giving a script to this guy? Can you imagine? Yeah, this script was edited by Weinstein. Nobody would touch it with a 10-foot pole. I mean, he's editing a script. A script for a book he's writing? Maybe he thought he was going to be found innocent, and he was going to write if I did it, here's how I would have done it, like O.J. Simpson did. But he didn't use his walker walking out of court. That's interesting. The judge said he will ask that Weinstein, who has been free on bail since his arrest nearly 2 years ago, be held in the prison infirmary after his lawyer said he needs medical attention following unsuccessful back surgery. He will likely be held at the Grim Rikers Island prison in New York City. Good. He declares his innocence. That's his right to do so. Is it possible he's innocent? Of course, anything's possible. But the evidence at the moment says he's guilty. So at the moment, I am going under the assumption that he is guilty. Should more evidence come on in the future? Hey, we all keep an open mind to new evidences changing our minds in the future. That's what debate and discussion is all about. Outside court, Weinstein's lawyer, Donna Rutuno, said he took the verdict like a man and that they were absolutely appealing the conviction. It's rubber stamp. Everybody appeals the conviction. Everybody appeals the conviction. Well, he's behind bars at least. That's something. Harvey is very strong. Harvey is unbelievably strong. He took it like a man. He took it like a man. Well, I wonder if he'll be saying that in prison. I took it like a man. He knows that we will continue to fight for him and knows that this is not over, she said. It's absolutely horrible for me to watch my client be taken into custody. We don't feel good about that at all. Nobody does. Nobody does. I mean, it's your job to defend him, and yeah, I got you, I understand. Is he absolutely guilty? Well, I mean, our justice system says that he is, and it's what we got. Is he going to claim his innocence? Of course he is. Of course he is. But the evidence does kind of show that more than likely he's guilty. Obviously, this is a bittersweet day. We are disappointed. We know we came in and we were down 35-0 on the day that we started this trial. The jurors came in knowing everything they could know about this case. We couldn't find a juror who had never heard of Harvey Weinstein. Meanwhile, Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance praised jurors for their verdict and said Weinstein was finally being held accountable, which it does appear he is. He praised the 6 accusers and the female prosecutor in the case as women who pulled our justice system into the 21st century by declaring that rape is rape and sexual assault is sexual assault no matter what. Okay, but I mean, okay. When a woman rapes a man, it's not rape, it's forced to penetrate. So rape is not rape and sexual assault is not sexual assault. A woman has raped a man at machete point. I have done a story on it. A man went away on vacation. His ex-girlfriend broke into his house, waited for him to come home, held him at machete point, and raped him, and nobody called it rape. They didn't. They called it forced intercourse. Can you believe that? I mean, equality is equality, so you want to bring it into the 21st century, women need to be held just as accountable as men. Rape is rape, whether it's committed by a stranger in the dark alley or by an intimate partner in a working relationship, or by a man or a woman. How about add that? It's rape whether it's committed by an indigent person or by a man of power, prestige, and privilege, he said, or a woman, There's something glaringly missing from that. Okay, how many stories do we do of female teachers who rape male students, and male students are incapable of giving consent, and that's rape, but yet they're not charged with rape. Like I said, the woman held a man at machete point and was never charged with rape. The newspapers wouldn't even call it rape. So when it's a man, it's different. Rules for thee, but not for me. Rape is rape, whether the survivor reported it within an hour, a year, or perhaps never. It's rape despite the complicated dynamics of power and consent after an assault. So if it is never reported, it can't be a rape, because if it's never reported, it's never known. Always report it. Always report it. The law is on your side. However, report responsibly. Don't be a false reporter, because human nature, false reports happen. We know it. I've done stories on that too. It happens. It happens, it happens, it happens. The same thing that one human being is capable of doing, we're all doing. But if it's not reported, how is it known? It can never be known if it's not reported. So you can't ever say that this thing happened if nobody ever says or reports that it happened, because that's just you saying it happened. Even if there's no physical evidence, and even if it happened a long time ago. But we need evidence. I mean, we can't go willy-nilly. I mean, we need some sort of boundaries. This is the new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America. I believe, and this is a new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America. I believe, and this is a new day. That still doesn't make sense. And I believe this is a new day, probably. Yeah, I agree. And everybody should be able to come forward, including men. And the reason I kind of rally against that a little bit is when it comes to the equality portion of this, There are a lot of men that, and I know personally a lot of men that have been sexually assaulted or raped, and the authorities would do nothing because they are the wrong sex. There are services that will do nothing because they are the wrong sex. Ask a man who is a survivor of domestic violence from a woman. A woman beats a man, and ask him where the nearest man's shelter is. In the entire United States, there's only one, even though statistics have shown that domestic violence is pretty much damn equal. But, we're supposed to be men, so suck it up. Am I right? Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.